Welcome to the channel. This is the Kaldheim Commander series. We're on number 32 of 36, Egon, God of Death. Actually, we're on Throne of Death. I spent days working on Egon and I couldn't get it to work. This is a version that I found by Mr. Pisto Plays on YouTube. And I've made some changes to it to, fit my play style and a few cards that I would prefer to play here and there, but for the most part, this is a deck very similar to what he has on his channel. If you'd like a really thorough rundown of all the cards he chose or a different version, then go ahead and go over there. I'll try to put a link under the channel. But for our purposes, let's just really quick talk about the idea of the deck. We don't need to go through every card. It's basically a mill deck with the Throne of Death. Very rarely going to play Egon. I haven't played him since I started doing this version. Turn 1, put the Throne of Death down, start milling. Every once in a while you can draw a card by using its exile a creature card from your graveyard, draw a card effect for 3. That's a pretty good effect. Egon, you have to wait until turn 5 or 6, 7 to really even play Egon. You have to mill a bunch of things first, and then it just gets chump blocked or killed somehow. It doesn't really work out that well. But putting a large creature in your graveyard and then reanimating it on turn 4 or 5, we've got a few things to get that turn 4 reanimation going, really does seem to work pretty well. So I have had a lot better luck with this deck. You can do things like reanimate the where is he? The Gray Merchant several times with a large amount of Black Devotion down. And even sacrifice him and reanimate him a couple times and win that way. You can just put a 7/7 on the board and make them sacrifice some creatures turn 4. Yeah, it's pretty good. There's plenty of ways to kill their creatures and make your own creatures and just win by all these different fun methods that you wouldn't necessarily think about at first. So I'll hopefully show you some of those, and then at the end of the video, if some of them don't come up, we'll talk about it again. Okay. See how Nissa does. Okay, so Mardu Outrider is pretty cool. You want to see something that you actually would like to discard. Unfortunately, we don't really have that, but that's okay. So make sure you play your throne the first turn. And start that mill. What we want to do is draw a big creature before turn 3. Discard that creature and then bring it back with the Cauldron's Gift on turn 4 or 5. It'll be 5 at this point. But we can always discard something else. Still, a 5/5 is pretty good. And since, unfortunately, this will be the one that'll have to go. It's the only one we really want to bring back from the graveyard. Generally, that's not the idea. Hopefully they're not playing too heavy of a discard deck. A lot of the time you want to get your threats out a little bit later, skew toward control with this deck rather than just pump out something like a Murderous Rider, because we need the value from this to be able to get to the late game and do all of our fun, tricky things. So far we've only milled land. Luckily they put a creature in the graveyard for us. Always Demonic Gifts that back out. They're going to have removal though, so we're not going to just be able to rely on those sorts of tricks. So we can mill 4 and see what we get. There's not really another good play. And that'll get something better in the graveyard for this too. So Underworld Sentinel is really good if it can stick on the board for a turn or two. we'll be very happy, and then we can always Blood on the Snow it back. Hopefully they don't force any more discards. That would be good for us. Using the -5. Maybe a 4 to cast, so probably not. We might end up just having to murder that Elderfang Disciple to get through. Really do want to kill Nissa. Keep her at least from getting too big. This isn't ideal, but as soon as Underworld Sentinel dies, we'll at least get a couple creatures out of it, probably. So let's go ahead and do that. Next turn will be a little bit more powerful. We definitely want Drana back. As long as they don't have Extinction Event, this is okay. We are exiling creatures, so they won't come back, and they do get stuck. So it can be a dangerous thing against black and white, who have a lot of exile effects. It's a chance that we've really got to take, because we're not going to get ahead on this game and win if we can't. Okay, Blood on the Snow would destroy creatures and get the extra creature from that there. And why would you do that, I wonder? Oh, because you don't want me to have the Drana back, yes. Okay, so we'll just keep, for now, we'll just keep them from doing what they want to do. Can't almost attack with that Faceless Haven. Don't really need Timuret as much as we do a nice big creature. Way up to 4 again. Okay. It's probably past our ability to kill her then this turn. And what's sad is it keeps us from focusing on our primary target. We're doing all this damage to Nissa, but okay. We don't really need Timuret out on the board. There's not really any use for graveyard manipulation, probably. So I suppose we can draw a card here. Suppose forcing them to sacrifice that is pretty good. But why not just go in with Faceless Haven? so that's 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So they're going to be able to put it down, put it up to 5. Alright, since they didn't, we definitely want to get through next turn, so we'll definitely be doing that. But just on their turn, we'll wait. See what they play. Maybe they'll play another even casting cost creature, and it'll be worthwhile, the extinction event. Don't care nearly as much about a little bit of damage from a land as we do from getting as much value as we can out of extinction event. Okay. -5 instantly. Hand or graveyard. Oh, maybe we did want Timuret. That's right. I'll call that a mistake. And it's odd. So... this would have been a replicating ring instead of an altar of Pantheon at this point. Mr. Pisto used this as the altar because there are a few cards that do help having that extra. Let's see. Well, there's nothing in here to use. So... don't want to extinction event. Guess we just have to blood on the snow here. I was hoping to get a little bit more value out of this, but that leaves us in a really good place. I mean, get more value out of it. Yeah, I get it, but still, that's really a late game card. Want to be able to play it and just completely wipe up huge board, but being able to get that much value out of it is definitely worthwhile. Don't get me wrong. Again. Yeah, I definitely should have kept that Timuret around. We can exile cards from graveyards. That is odd, odd, odd. So 2, 6, 7, 8, 9. So one more land and they can do that again. Not looking forward to that. We need 6 to be able to take a creature out of the graveyard. I don't think there is anything in the graveyard at this point. Okay. They didn't want to wait through me. Game number 2 is Seiko. Really? Okay. Big in 1945. Not bad. Kind of want... It's okay, though. Maybe just rush this out. Maybe start a quick board against a Seiko rather than going straight for the mill like I normally would. Got these yesterday, finally. Been waiting on that level 70 for a while. If you got every single point, you could get them on, what was it, the 20th? Okay, 2 mills. It's probably good to get out of the way. We don't need those yet. Cultivate. Let's see, blue, white, red, black, green. Pretty good. Impressive. Got 2 enchantment killing cards in the deck. Very much hope to get them soon. 4. This might be a time to just try out Egon. Can always sacrifice it with Iara. Okay. Angel of Vitality. Nice. We could play that Massacre Worm. That would be really good right now. Okay, before the attack. I have to block Egon. I'll probably block the Mire Trident. Set a stop on the upkeep so we can sack Egon instead of letting it die, or just let him die. Yeah. Let him die. For good. It's not as bad with this deck as some others. I was just playing the one of my best decks, and I think it's one of the most underrated commanders if you play it right. What's his name? The Death Touch guy? The Death Touch commander? What's his name? God, I'm blanking on his name for some reason. What is it?
Finn the Fangbearer.
Yeah, Finn. God, Finn the Fangbearer. He's my favorite right now. You ever want to get some quick wins? He's 80% win rate for me right now. Really, really good deck. I'm even fighting against Asika now with him, which he was out of the Asika tier. Not even close to it most of the time. Yeah, this isn't good. Nothing to answer with. Oh, well, at least we'll be able to discard Conrad with the Mardu Outrider and then bring it back here or there if we want. I don't really like this. I'm not sure if it fits. Anyway, try my Finn deck if you haven't seen it. He is fantastic, if you'll forgive me for just a second there. Now, do we want the Burning Rune Demon or Sir Conrad? Sir Conrad's pretty amazing, especially with this thrown out. Let's go for the bigger creature that gets us an extra card. Most likely, Mardu Outrider just dies here. But yeah, anyway, so Finn just... I was trying to get my last level for these awesome new sleeves, level 70. And I'm down out of the numbers in Mythic because I'm just having a really hard time lately. Something about the new meta is just destroying me. Suppose we can play this soon. I don't really want to discard it. I guess it'll be these two, and I'll just get back whichever one I decide I need. That's rough. So I was playing Finn and just instantly got my 15 wins. No problem at all. Really, really fun stuff. I guess I get this down. Looks like we're going to be discarding, though. I guess if we have to discard something, it should be this. Have anything in the graveyard that we don't mind eating? One more land, and that's rough. I should have just kept the Simulacrum and tossed that away. That was a bad play. So I played Finn, got the 15 wins really easy, got my sleeve finally. Been waiting this whole time for that awesome new colorful Kaldheim sleeve. Really need to get some creature destruction here. Can we get a couple more land, please? No. Cannot. Hopefully all that they do with Turgid is attack. Most likely we're going to be giving them some pretty good cards this next turn. Can discard Farika's Libation if that's all they can do is force us to discard a card. Okay, Nightmare Shepherd could be worse. Could be worse. One more land. No. Alright. So they have one card in the graveyard. Priest of Haunted Edge isn't... Or, oh, it's Snowlands, that's right. 4 Snowlands. It doesn't quite kill the Outrider. 5 mana. We take the chance of having to discard the Blood on the Snow. Make them sack a creature and then destroy probably the Turgid. Suppose we can do that on their turn. Just want to stop them from causing any more trouble. Okay, yeah. Can you do that and then exile it and then it comes back to your hand? I bet you can. I'd like to see that. I've never tried that before. Do that on their turn. Having this open stops them from at least attacking with the Timuret. They're just going to block it with the 0/4 anyway. Okay. That Haunted Edge with the Nightmare Shepherd's pretty good. This Timuret's going to cause us trouble too. Can take all of our good stuff out of the graveyard. Okay, we really need this Simulacrum to die, so that's good. Come on. Need that land. Not fast enough. I mean, they're in trouble too, but if we don't draw that land, we're in much more trouble. What do we get back? Acquisitions Expert. Probably the Burning Rune Demon, like I was saying. 1 damage each time a creature's milled. So I'm going to have to give up the Skyclave Relic. It's not going to be fast enough to save. Well, then again, Farika's Libation doesn't really do that much here. Submit how many? 2? Okay. Wonder if I should have just given him the Blood Sheaf to make sure that I hit that 6 for the Blood on the Snow. just getting wrecked. Now, if he sacrifices this Priest of the Haunted Edge, that wouldn't be too bad. Okay. Can only be done as a sorcery. So here we are. And that forces another discard, doesn't it? I think it happens anyway, though. Now, does he get to do that to these two? Probably. So I could have gotten Liliana. Yep. Do you want me to have Unbreakable Bond or Return Upon the Tide? I think that that's the right way to go here. Massacre Worm. Maybe Massacre Worm. So they either have to give me Massacre Worm. Yeah, that's probably right. Which one of these is better? Lifelink. So they're either going to give me Massacre Worm, or they're going to put it in my graveyard and they'll let me get it back with the card that they do give me. Either way, that's going to be a tough next turn for them if they can't kill the Burning Room Demon. If they can kill the Burning Room Demon, then I'll make them choose between another one of those sorts of things. So they choose the Massacre Worm, since this would just give it lifelink. Should have chosen the worst of the two, not the best of the two ones to bring it back. So he might want to just sacrifice this, even if he doesn't have the 6th snow covered. This is ETB this turn, so that he doesn't take the 2 damage from the Massacre Worm. This would be a good idea to use on some of those creatures. Okay, even better. Suppose this just needs to come out. Again, 4/6. I have to start drawing cards with that throne. I wonder if Egon would be okay right now. Start with this or with that. I think probably the Null Priest gets us more value. With, again, the Burning Room Demon. It's most likely to get us the most value because then we get an extra card. Let's try it. Good. Or Return Upon the Tide. Demon of Loathing can't quite cast him, but it's still Underworld Sentinel. I think pretty much any of this is pretty good. Let's say, do you want to give us that or the Return Upon the Tide? Let's just go Rise Again. I'll be able to kill the Null Priest. We're ready for some trickery, though. Can Heartless Act any creatures? Ooh. No counters. This doesn't have a counter, it just has flying from that, yeah. So that's pretty good. I wonder if they block there. Yeah, they definitely would. Grey Merchant does 4, so if we could cast Heartless Act and then put that out, that would be pretty good. This would be 6, and I'd only get 1 back. Could just poison the cup. I think we just need to kill that Ugin. Ugin kills us pretty quick. Maybe just play the Skyclave for 3. 1 extra mana could make quite a bit of difference. It would have this turn, that's for sure. Now, we know what they have. We can only do 3 with Ugin. Let's take this chance. As long as they don't kill the Burning Rune Demon. Oh, that's right, they have plenty of life. Ah. Not good. I suppose Egon does come out. We can gain a little bit of health with this. Faceless Haven's good. Definitely takes some of the pressure off. Don't want Turgid alive. Do 1 more point of damage? Yeah, so let's do that. Grey Merchant is surprisingly good here. It's been great every game I've gotten it. I can take care of a few creatures. Yeah, I'm never really happy to see this Omen of the Dead. It's just not really what the deck does. When I am happy to see it is like last game when we had the Grey Merchant. Being able to take that out of the graveyard a few times is really nice. So that's the one reason that I'm keeping it in, really, is Grey Merchant. There are some other things that are nice to have with it, but yeah, not a great hand. I should have taken that mulligan. Though we can play a little bit reactive and take advantage of it. I think that's a fine target for the Bloodchief's Thirst. We might even end up seeing some play. So we're just slowing them down there. It's not ideal. Really hoping to get some good creatures in the graveyard here pretty soon. Okay, we just need a way to get them back. Don't want an Omen of the Dead, something like that. Can't feed the Swarm on an indestructible enchantment. Don't want to eat the Worm. So that's pretty much a turn right there. This deck just kills us. Just destroys us. So, I mean, not bad there. That's a good situation for Omen of the Dead. Just land after land. Could have used some of those. Alright, I think we need to start actually casting things. Otherwise, I'd feed the swarm on that Boreal Outrider. Giving them a bunch of +1 counters isn't my idea of fun. So they're just going to have to take land from us. Yeah, okay, I want to do the damage. That's fine. Thought they'd have something big to cast. This game is over. It's just one of the bad matchups. You don't usually have a commander that can just manipulate graveyards like that. If they can read the board, they know what's going on. They already tried to take the Massacre Worm. Carrion Grub's going to do almost nothing this game. Feed the Swarm. Almost up to 6. It's pretty rough. 4. Could just let her die. Well, we'll get it out and call it a blocker. No, it's just not going to work. There are no good plays here. She kills us in like two turns with the Boreal Outrider out. Because that would be 10, 13 damage, 16 damage in 2 turns. So we kind of have to at least try to kill Rada. If they've got a land in their hand, we're just instantly gone. Okay, yeah, that's a turn. We'll draw it out as long as we can. Everything our deck stands for. How dare you? Kill it with Liliana if we want to. It's a good target for the worm if we can get one more land. And mill the land, draw something we can't cast. Well, at least we drew something to cast. So can't block here. Hopefully they can't pump the Brash Taunter and they take. That's fine. Still at 4. Gonna stay at 4. Okay, 6 mana available, and Sir Conrad dies. Yep. You didn't need that extra mana, did you? Oh, yes, you did. You didn't want to fight it and do 5 extra damage. You wanted to frostbite it. And Shadow Spear here. That's 1 extra damage and you gain some life you don't need, as opposed to doing 5 extra damage. Because it would have only been 2, really. Okay. Mill the land. Draw the card. That's getting old. I really, really just wanted to get that Massacre Worm out to kill this Brash Taunter, but okay. Taking way too long, Clothis. Bludgeow. At least it's not the other Vivian, right? Shadow Bow's game is pretty difficult. It's not bad. Just need to get to the 5th turn, I suppose. A couple things in the graveyard will be good. Hopefully draw into one of our Mana of Stones and do it on the 4th turn. Land in the graveyard. Love to see it. That has been very, very cool. I just have to start drawing cards with Castle Lockthwain. Okay, I guess we're destined to just draw land. I mean, they would have been playing more lands if they had them. This is just a 2/4 at this point, it looks like. There's something worth using. Okay. 4/4 is a pain. But not quite as good as a 6/6 that gets us an extra card, huh? Finally, something good that we can... I mean, with the lifelink counter on it, as long as they can't bite it, this will be a better play. Rankle's not too bad. Don't have anything to sacrifice out right now. There's nothing good in the graveyard. Let's make them choose between 2 really nice big creatures. We do want to discard something. I don't have any way to get anything back, though. Oh, Cauldron's Gift. So... that way, they'll probably discard the Demon of Loathing, and then we can Cauldron it back next turn, rather than actually playing the Sir Conrad. Oh. Okay. That was smart. Oh, well, I wouldn't have blocked. Certainly was not looking for a block there. Okay, so we can still take Conrad out. Might be a good idea. Massacre Worm only kills 1 creature, but it is a good blocker. Either one of these is pretty nice for the Grey Merchant. 6 life, please. Thank you. Let's just kill that Lotus Cobra. I don't mind blocking the questing beast with the Massacre Worm either. Gives us the chance to kill whatever they put out this next couple turns with the Cauldron's Gift, bringing it back out. Ideally, we keep it out, get Ayara out, maybe a couple of other things, and then play the Grey Merchant. They'll probably scoop after we hit him another time or two with the Burning Rune Demon if they can't handle it. Or, yeah, maybe just keep the Massacre Worm since we're gaining 6 a turn. Don't even bother blocking the Questing Beast if they attack. Judging by what they did last turn, they're really scared to lose it, so they won't. That's a bad play, in my opinion. That's a really good trade for them if they can kill a 6/6 lifelinker with their 4/4 Death Touch. Probably just play the Grey Merchant out next turn. That'll be 8 damage to him, 8 life for us, and just it'll show him that they can scoop anytime. They're already on the boundary, it looks like. With the Vigilance here, you just really want to be active with it. Like, there's no reason to not attack there, because if you're going to block with it, it's still open. If I'm going to block with it, then that's ideal, right? So either way, they want the Massacre Worm dead. Trading with the Questing Beast is the only way to do that with what's on board. Alright. Heliod's not too bad. We can usually keep him off the board. A little bit slow. I mulligan for once. I do like having the extra mana out on turn 3 and kill a creature. It's tough, but keep a bad hand or mulligan for a worse hand with one less card. Well, I guess it's not. It's a free mulligan in this case. Oops. Over and over, it's the same thing. It's about 1 in 3 chance that you're going to get a land in the graveyard, but this game... Yeah, please put out a bunch of little tiny creatures. 4, we only need 1 more land if we can stop milling them all. Or not. Might have to poison that. 5. I'm going to take the chance here. He's a nice creature, and if they kill it, it's not too bad. It's just most likely they're going to exile it if they do kill it, so we don't really want to see that. 1 more land in the graveyard, and Liliana takes care of the raptor. Yeah. Blood on the Snow at least gets him back. Another land there. That's awful. So 4 in the graveyard. Get her out and start doing what we can. So whenever another creature dies or a creature is put into the graveyard, or a creature leaves your graveyard, Sir Conrad deals 1 damage to each opponent, and you can help mill. Bound in Gold makes it so that activated abilities can't be used, but another land in the graveyard. Imagine that. We want Massacre Worm in the graveyard. 5 land in the graveyard. I mean, I didn't want all those, so that's not horrible, but let's make them discard a card and put something nice for us for next turn. That way she doesn't die. Oh, yes, she still does. Maybe we'll probably poison the cup on that. Doing it this way because we've got Blood on the Snow to kill Conrad, and then Rise Again to bring back the Massacre Worm and Conrad together. Eventually, we just need a little bit more snow land. Again, I'm always wishing that this was not an altar, but a replicating ring. Get that extra snow land. And we'd be up to 4 when we'd only need 1 more to be able to get back Conrad. So, man, I don't want to be... I really would rather kill that. Is it? Well, thank you, Jason Ocampo, for letting me know. It's my turn. But I think poisoning this is better. Scry 2. We don't have anything to discard, so I suppose we'll keep the Return Upon the Tide. Ooh, rough. Oh, right. That always trips me up with this deck. So I think it's time to Blood on the Snow. Just get back. Let's make sure. Can we get back anything with just 3? No. So I guess we're not doing that. We really need to kill this. It's going to be probably a 6/6 next turn. 4 in the graveyard. No. Turn another aura or equipment. Okay, so we can't use that. So I suppose Rise Again is a better thing to do. Yeah, all this is good, but we really needed some of those other cards. Not ideal. If this was 4, we'd be a lot closer to be able to get something good back, like if we can get this in the graveyard. Lifelink. So it's going to turn, this into a 6/6 most likely. And we can't attack. Maybe just Blood on the Snow, and maybe that would have been a better play anyway. Just Blood on the Snow and not return anything. Not bad. Carrion Grub. Attacking doesn't solve anything. He just gains life at best for him. Not that he knows what we're going to do. 4. Yeah, I still don't get anything back here. This is awful. Could be worse. At least there were some triggers, but that card should be almost game ending usually, and just not getting the land 5 in a row. Again. Very. Oh, Bound in Gold is in the hand. Should have looked. Suppose. Do we want that bound? Not sure. We can always Heartless Act it if we really need to. No, we gotta keep Heliod off the board. We can't Heartless Act our own stuff just for the lulz. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, if they're not casting anything, then what they have is probably something that can kill Ayara. Have any creatures in here we don't mind letting go of? Not really, but I suppose we will. Get rid of the Carrion Grub. Very unlikely that we'll... Pacifism is best case scenario on her. Attacking and blocking is not what Ayara does best. But that brings him onto the board, so we have to Heartless Act immediately. Oh, let's just take the 5 damage so that we can Elspeth's Nightmare. We want to use Elspeth's Nightmare where we can. So we can see what that card is they're holding, maybe get rid of it. See, we would have just discarded another swamp. I mean, at this point, that's not that bad, but... Draw a card with the Serrated Scorpion and then get rid of it with the Throne the turn after. +2/+2 until end of turn. Let's let them think that they're going to get away with that. Just in case we want to Heartless Act something better. If we can't kill Heliod, then yeah, it's okay. Definitely going to want to be sacrificing the Underworld Sentinel too. That gets rid of an enchantment. And a Devotion. Crawling Barrens is another win con, so that'll be nice. Let's just do it now. Don't think I want to be drawing with Castle Locthwain right at this moment, though maybe I do. This just entered the battlefield. We'll pump it up at the end of their turn. Hold on to this. See what we can catch. I think maybe Shadow Spear, if we're going to be facing Heliod, would be kind of nice. Okay, that's enough to bring... No, it's not. 4 Devotion. Rather than drawing a card and doing damage, we'll just pump this up. So now we want the land there. Okay, feed the swarm. is probably better. Damage. I mean, take Ayara, please. Yeah, okay. They probably thought they could take the land. Ivar. What is this game? 5 or 6? We've only lost 1. So it's going pretty well. We have plays. Let's keep it. I do not mulligan enough. And I do realize that I should mulligan more because it's free. But this looks okay. So don't take that from me. I hate mulliganing and dropping an okay hand for a bad hand. And there goes the swamp. Here it comes again. Do we need to ram? Let's start the ram. We're going to need lots of mana against these elves, but threats are good too. Okay, very slow elf deck. Oh, that's a great draw. We definitely need that against all these little elves. Okay. 4, 5, 6. I don't think that this comes out as a kick this game, so... But we definitely need it out. Ayara. I had Ayara in my Tyvar deck for a little bit, but there just aren't enough Black Elves to make it worthwhile. Three in the graveyard. I think this is reasonable right now rather than Bloodchief's Thirst. They'll probably do the +1. Okay. Make an elf. That's a good play. Giving that extra 1 mana next turn can be really helpful. Sanctum, too. I see a lot of people playing that in this deck, and I just don't really feel it. Okay, we've got our Blood on the Snow ready. Let's attack, I suppose. 4 cards in the graveyard.
Wish you had a fraction of my power. Get out of my way, Orange.
Suppose we want to save her. We don't want to just give it up. So, I'm not quite ready to use a Bloodchief's Thirst on. We can use it on Tyvar if he gets to be a pain. Once Tyvar gets close to that -6, that'll just get out of control, so we need to take care of him. But making an elf is actually good for us with this Massacre Worm. Board state. Ah. And again. Most likely going to want to have... And again, this on the board looks pretty nice too. Are they going to block with the Twin Blade Assassins to kill Conrad? They'd probably just jump again. Put him down to 4. Bloodchief's Thirst. This costs 6 next time. They can easily do that. Running out of cards, though. Let's make them discard what they do have. Suppose the Massacre Worm, it does come back out in a couple of different ways. Nissa, that could have been trouble. And since we can, let's just kill the Twin Blade Assassins with the Bloodchief's Thirst. Then double attack Tyvar. Like, what? Why would you discard that? That's really good against my deck. That's what I would think. And I would be thinking, oh, they must have a way to bring it back. Tyvar alive. Just want to kind of work on that life total right now. Mill. Exile. We don't need to exile. We probably will mill, though. Make you discard it. Well, maybe. We'll see. Oh, I forgot to mill. Ah. Demon of Loathing. Wouldn't that be nice? Maybe it's time for Blood on the Snow after all. I think keeping this board state as it is pretty good right now. 4, 5, 6, 7. You just play that Underworld Sentinel. Why are you keeping things in your hand? If you can cast it, cast it. If you can't cast it, I suppose losing that 3 life isn't good either. She can do 9 damage next turn, 10 damage next turn with the mill. Don't be too afraid to discard things.
You think too much.
And you probably want to come out to play. Why should everyone else have all the fun? And again, let's see if they switch their strategy up here. They seem like they want to keep Tyvar alive, so this gets 5 damage into the face. Oh, okay.
Let's make a show.
Gotta keep that elf. Lots of elves.
I say,
I do believe Blood on the Snow just kills them because of Sir Conrad. But I like to attack people. Okay, back for the wrap up for Egon, or at least Egon's throne. Though Egon was helpful in a game, it's nice to have the option of a 6/6 here and there. That game against Isika, this deck does occasionally rise up in the ranks enough to go against Isika. That was a suboptimal version of Isika, probably. It looked like they had a lot of creatures that weren't bombs in there, and you generally want to be always getting bombs with your bridge. But this throne, oh, how wonderful it is for milling lands. Most of the time, those two games where I milled all those lands, that's the only time where that's really happened to me in all the games I've played with the throne. So hopefully it doesn't mill you out so you can't draw any land. You can't really blame it for flooding or for mana screws. It's just the game. So I think this is a pretty good version. Like if you wanted to make any changes, you could probably find another small creature to go here. Some graveyard manipulation, or something to hold off the opponent. Maybe an eliminate if you're going against some extra small creatures that are troublesome. Maybe another mill creature. There's a lot of things. One thing that's missing from this is probably Timuret Calls the Dead. Might be really good here. Timuret Chosen from Death, I think, is probably pretty good. There are just times when you want to mess with the opponent's graveyard. Other than that, I think it's pretty. It's okay. Carrion Grub is situational. Occasionally, it's a 7/5 attacking in, so that can really help. The mill 4 cards can be pretty nice. It's not as bad as it might look, but you know, it's another one you could think about finding a different spot for. Other than that, I really do like it. Being able to return the Solemn Simulacrum or Rankle. You know, most of the things in here work really well, and they are pretty much the optimal picks. You might want something smaller as your top end, so it's actually castable when you draw it. But generally, we're going to be discarding cards with, you know, Liliana or whatever, and then playing them later. So it's not that big of a deal. We almost casted this in a couple of games. Faceless Haven's a pretty cool one, and Crawling Barrens. But then again, Castle Lochthwain, Crawling Barrens, and the other lands really did mess with the Blood on the Snow. So I would say probably if you like the altar giving you that extra devotion for pretty much just the Grey Merchant, I think I took out the other devotion card, then keep it. Otherwise, this should probably be. In fact, let's just go in. I'll post the deck as every single game I got it. I would have rather had it be the Replicating Ring. And then, I mean, we could even have another land rather than Skyclave Relic. It's pretty hard to cast this for its 6, though it does happen. So I think that's a little bit better. Crawling Barrens won us a game. It would be really hard to switch this out to another snow-covered. It's another win con that's really nice, especially after a failed Blood on the Snow, which does happen now and then. You've seen. I know I do like Castle Lochthwain a lot, so I'm not going to be taking those out. All right. Pretty good deck. I hope you enjoy it. Good luck. Have fun.